Hi, y'all. Hello. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Afrocentric Women, or welcome back. If you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel. And like this video. Thank you in advance. All right, y'all. I'm going to give you a recap of my date today, as well as I'm going to kind of go over all the red flags that I will call them maybe yellow flags. I'm going to go over all of them that I can remember. I probably will not go out with this guy again. I probably won't. I'm thinking no. I'm 90% sure that I'm not gonna go on another date with him. All right. So as I talked to y'all earlier today, I told you that he invited me to a really nice 5-star like white tablecloth. You know where they come with a little crumb scraper after each entree and refresh and reset the table, like that kind of restaurant, like super nice. And I've been wanting to go there, so I was excited to go. Um, and I was pleased that he took the initiative to set another date. I was also pleased with the fact that he was willing to do a lunch date, and he wasn't giving me a hard time about that, because sometimes guys give a hard time about that because they want dinner, they want evenings. Um, so I was pleased with that. So those are good things. Um, So one thing that I did not like is that he was not at the front of the restaurant when I got there. I was there like maybe 7 minutes late. And I just kind of feel like he should have been there waiting for me and not at the table, but he was at the table. Okay, so the host took me there. We sit down, we're talking. One of the first thing he says is like, my number, you do know my number works. And I'm like, yeah. So basically what he's saying is like, you don't ever call me. In a kind of a roundabout way, which is true. That's true. I don't. I do respond though. I do respond to the messages that he sends, but yeah, I do. I do not initiate texts. I do not initiate calls, and that's just how I roll. That's just how I operate. That's just how I do it. And so, we kind of moved on past that, and then we were talking. I'm trying to think of something else that came up. Um, I'm not going to remember everything in chronological order, so that is the part that is going to be weird. Okay, so it's towards the end of the date. He kind of started bringing up stuff about his house, about getting some type of TV or something like that, and um, probably need to getting a TV or something for his media room. And he just kind of started talking about his house, and okay, and then kind of segued in to like towards the very end of the day. He's like, "When are you going to come and see me?" And it never dawned on me, but that is one of the dustiest comments in the world. When are you going to come and see me? It's one of the dustiest it's one of the dustiest things in the world a guy could say. Number one, because I have not given you any indication that I will come to your home. None, zero, zilch. This is literally our second date. And and that's number one. Number two, it's when are you? So in other words, you initiate it. And it's so crazy. It's like, you think I'm going to deliver myself to your house? Do you think this is like Kitty on wheels or something? Do you really think I'm going to deliver myself to you? Are you crazy? And I told y'all, my main guy, he never pushed me to go to his house. He never invited me over. He never invited himself to my house. He always picked me up, took me out on a date, and took me back, and did that for like ever. It's probably like 8+ dates before I went to his home. It's like 8+ dates over the course of I don't know how many months, because of course we're not like going out every day, go out whenever we have time. But he never pushed me to do anything that I don't feel comfortable with. So I was just really turned off by that. That's just really gross. And I just didn't say anything because I don't want to waste my energy arguing. Excuse me, I don't want to waste my energy arguing. And I just don't even want to go there. So I just didn't say anything. Um, and then he said another dusty comment. He says, "Well, the ball is in your court." And I said, "Oh, well, I guess we're not going out again." And he says, "Why are you saying that?" And I'm like, "Well, if you're expecting for me to plan a date and initiate one, then we never will get to go out." And he's like, "Well, times are changing." And I said, "Well, do you date women who make dates for you?" And he's like, "The times are changing. The times are changing." And I'm like, "Okay, I understand that the times are changing. I get what you're saying." Did I pass the? No, I don't think I passed the street. Um, he's like, "The times are changing." And I said, "I understand that you feel the times are changing, but I'm asking about you specifically. Do you personally date women who have planned dates?" And he was like, "Well, yeah, he didn't really answer all the way through. And I'm like, "Do you have single friends?" I'm like, do women do that for them?" And he really kind of like didn't all the way answer. But that was just really dusty. The other comment about going to his house was dusty. All of it was dusty. He reached over and touched my hair. That was kind of weird. And he also said something about like, "I know it probably takes you a long time to do your hair," or something. I don't know. Um, it was just kind of awkward. So there was that was that. Okay, y'all. Okay, so here, just to round out this kind of like dusty experience, right? Let me just bring it home. Y'all aren't gonna believe this. So I told y'all that this guy is in like sports management for these two professional teams. And so he has a lot of clients that he entertains as a part of his job, like whatever VIPs coming into town or whatever, people, owners of teams, and all of that jazz. So he entertains clients. And so he had asked to speak to the manager, or he was like, "Oh, when, let's call her Maria. When Maria's available, could you send her?" He told this to our server. "When Maria is available, could you send her over to our table?" And I was like, "Oh, you know the manager?" He said, "Yeah, I know the manager." And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." I thought maybe she was a friend, and he wanted to introduce me to her, which I thought was like, okay, that's cool, to meet the manager. Woo, woo, woo. Um, so the server was like, "Oh, she ran out for errands. She'll be back. She'll be back." And we were there for a little bit and we were kind of wrapping up. And so she comes back again and she's like, "I'm so sorry. She's not going to be back, before you guys are done. But don't worry. She took care of everything." And he was like, "Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, it would have been nice to see her, but okay, thank you." And I was just like, "Oh, wow, wow, oh, wow." Like, okay, so there's that. And then he says to our server, he says, "Well, could you just tell me how much everything was? Because I want to make sure that I compensate you," or something he said that just sounded weird and dusty. Because it's like, it shouldn't be a question. Like, for example, let me back it up to the first date, which was also a dusty comment he made. He was like, "If you don't mind, I'm going to take care of this." And I'm like, what kind of question is that? That is like the most asinine question. "Oh, well, if you don't mind, I'm going to take care of it." You invited me on a date. Why on God's green earth do you think that I would think that you wouldn't be paying for this? Of course you are paying for this. And it was just a stupid question. It's just dusty as hell. And so I just feel like the question that he gave the server was also dusty as hell. I mean, you know what we ordered. You should know more or less how much it costs, and you should just leave her a tip accordingly. You know, he left the tip, wanted change back. Um, we got halfway out the door. He's like, "Oh, let's ticket validated, for the valet." And I said, "Oh, well, I talked to the guy. He told me that it was going to be X amount of dollars for this restaurant. So, it should be good." He was like, "Well, yeah, it's cheaper if we go to this restaurant, but it has to be validated." And I'm like, "Okay, sure." So we go back, we get it validated. I was like, "Okay." And then we get to the valet and he pays, and he's like, "Oh, sorry guys, I'm sorry, I'm not able, I don't have any extra for tips or something. He says, as much as I'd like to. And then he turns over to me and he says, unless you have a few dollars. And I'm like, no. I mean, of course I do, but no, I don't. Like, what is wrong with you? What are you smoking? This just turned so dusty. I mean, my main guy would never. I tried when he got sick with COVID last year. He got sick with COVID last year. My main guy did. And I sent him groceries to his house. I sent him groceries to his house. Like I sent him like soup. I sent him like fruit. And I sent him what else? Vegetables. I sent him vitamin C, echinacea tea. You know, I just sent him like a little care package via Whole Foods. And he wouldn't even allow me to do that. He literally sent me a cash app that same day. Thanks, babe, for the groceries. You know, so he wouldn't he wouldn't even let me do something for him when he's sick. This man has never, ever asked me for money or expected me to pay anything. Like I can literally leave my wallet, everything at home. I don't need it when I'm with him. So for this dust ball to turn around to me and talk about, unless you got a couple dollars, I'm like, no, I don't have the couple of dollars, and no, I don't have time for another date with you. So don't you even think about asking me out on another date. The answer will be no. I started thinking about it because I mean, I was trying to get these tickets to this game, but the more I think about it, I kind of just I feel like I can just get the tickets another way. You know, like maybe one of my other guys could give me some tickets, or I can just do it another way. I don't have to go through him for tickets. I just, you know, I just don't have to. It's not anything I have to do. Um, you know, I don't have to go through him. So I'm thinking my 90% has just escalated to 98% sure that I'm not going out with this guy again. It's disgusting. It's just one of those situations that he's playing a bully, using on dates and shit. Um, Probably ran out of money for the month. Needs me to come to his house. Also, probably just a sleaze bag. And no, listen, if you're willing to disrespect me, that means that you don't value me. That means that you don't have the level of respect. Like you're not afraid of losing my respect. You're not afraid of losing, you know, esteem in my eyes. You're not trying to be an esteemed gentleman. You don't care. And a male who does not care about being respectful is a dusty liability that is not worth your time and attention and effort. So that is the recap on the date. The food was good, the wine was good, the environment was good. I'm glad I got to go, but it was just under very dusty circumstances. And yeah, I probably could have eliminated him from date number one. I probably just could have not even gone on excuse me, date number two or whatever. But nonetheless, I did. Hold on, y'all. Okay, y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. That's pretty much the date. I'm here to pick up my baby, so I will let y'all go and we'll talk soon. All right, bye.